La 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 la, wait till I get my money right.
Good morning, bestie.
Good morning, best friend. Happy Saturday.
Hey, girl, hey. Hey, boo. I got Sunny here, too. Say hey, booby.
Hey, Sunny Boo.
Right.
You still doing this yoga?
Yeah, girl. It's still a good time for you?
Of course.
Okay, cool. And listen, I got so much to tell you, so
Oh, Lord.
let's go ahead and do this yoga because I need to get grounded for real. We can do the Ariana girl. I really like hers. And it's like 15 minutes. Okay, cool. It's called Full Body Grounded Deep Stretch for Beginners. No standing. I lied. It's about 20 minutes, but she makes it quick. Just let me know when you find it. Okay, hold on. Let me get myself together. Sunny, of course, you're gonna be ready. Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Of course, it's an ad.
Ever since the baby, I leak when I sneeze, and I have allergies, so...
Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariana Elizabeth, and welcome to today's class. For today's class, we are actually going to stay quite close to the mat, so there will not be any standing postures, and there won't be a lot of heat building. However, with that being said, we will be getting a nice deep stretch in. I do recommend making sure that the body stays nice and warm, so either practicing in a warm environment, maybe adding a little heat into your space, or even slipping on a sweatshirt and some sweatpants, just to make sure that you keep the muscles nice and warm, since we won't be doing a lot of heat building. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and meet in Child's Pose Balasana, bringing the knees wide to the edges of your mat, toes come together to touch, sinking the hips back towards the heels, and then walking the fingertips out towards the front of your mat. Forehead comes in contact with the mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose here. And an open mouth exhale, release it out. One more just like that, deep breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale, release it out. Beautiful. And slowly begin to walk the hands over towards the left side of the mat. Grounding down into the left palm and then stacking the right palm on top of the left. Breathing here. And then gently walking them back through center, over towards the right side. Right hand grounds down, left hand comes on top of the right. Breathing here.
What I said she was.
Beautiful. And then bringing them back to center, we'll go ahead and slip the right hand underneath the left arm, maybe opening up towards the left a little. And then left hand comes under the right, maybe opening up towards the right. Awesome. You can unwind, rock up to tabletop. Knees will come under your hips and wrists under your shoulders. And then you can slowly lower down into puppy pose, just bringing the forehead to the mat. Arms are still elongated out in front of you. Slowly pressing the chest a little closer to the mat. Hips are nice and up in the air here. Breathing into this puppy pose. And if you feel comfortable, like you have a little more space, you can go ahead and move a little deeper, bringing the chest towards the mat and the chin towards the mat. One more breath in here. And an exhale. You can begin to relax all the way onto the belly. Chin stays in center. And your arms can come out to a T. And now keeping the right arm out long on the mat, you can press gently into the left palm, lifting up the left knee, maybe even stepping that left foot over the right. And just breathe here. Getting a nice shoulder stretch. And then as you're ready, slowly release, switching sides. Left arm comes out long, gently pressing into the right palm here, lifting the right knee up. maybe even stepping over the left leg here, stretching into the left shoulder, only going to your limit, and breathing here. Awesome, and then slowly release, bringing the chin back to center. You can press up to Sphinx pose, so resting the belly and the forearms on the mat. The legs can come out wide to the edges of the mat if you like. And just gaze down, gently rolling the neck, so letting the head hang nice and low. Taking your time here. And then keeping your elbows bent, you'll go ahead and come to your fingertips. So you're going to be pressing up just slightly, but still keeping those elbows nice and bent for a few rolls here. So just lifting the chest and exhale, lowering it towards the mat. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. Taking a few of these on your own, at your own pace. And then as you're ready, take a moment to gently sink into the left shoulder a little bit. So sinking that left shoulder down, pressing into the right fingertips just a little bit more and gazing over towards the right. Just a nice little twist here, breathing into this. And now sinking into the right shoulder, gazing to the left, and breathing here. And coming back to center, bring the forearms in front of you, so palms are slightly pointing in towards each other. Lift the right foot up behind you, and then press into the left forearm. So sending the weight and control into the left forearm, reaching the right hand towards the inner arch of the right foot. So if your foot and your hand do meet, begin to gently press into this right foot, pressing your foot into your hand and lifting the chest here. So a few breaths here. And then slowly release. The right forearm comes to the mat. And now floating the left foot up behind you, reaching for the left inner arch and pressing the foot into the left hand, lifting the chest here. And breathe. Awesome. Slowly release. And now maybe you take one more heart opener here, lifting both feet up and reaching for the inner arches in bow pose. Now remember, this is just an option. If your body prefers to rest in a belly down shavasana on your mat, you may do that as well. And if you're in bow pose, take one more breath in. And exhale, release it all the way down to the mat, coming into alligator pose. So forearms in front of you and forehead comes to the forearms. Breathing here. Relaxing the face and unclenching the teeth. And then when you're ready, go ahead and press up back to child's pose, but this time bringing the arms by your side. So the tops of your hands are resting on the mat, forehead to the mat, allowing the shoulders to roll forward, not holding any tension here in the shoulders, no tension in the face, no tension in the jaw, and removing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Just a few breaths here. And now begin to press up to tabletop. And step the right foot in between the hands, coming into a low lunge. Now you want to make sure that your knee is directly above your ankle. You don't want your ankle closer towards your body and your knee going out past your ankle. So make sure those two are in line. And then the right fingertips will stay on the outside of the right leg, connected to the mat. Inhale, reaching the left arm up and over towards the right. So breathing here, moving breath into the left side body. And now slowly lowering the left fingertips down and straightening through the right leg. So sinking the hips back into half split here, flexing the toes towards the face. I'm going to be sure that you're pulling that left hip back. So you're squaring the hips. And then back to that low lunge. So lifting the left hand towards the right again. And just moving between that and half splits. So back to the half splits. And back into low lunge. Taking a few of these on your own breath and at your own time. There's no rush. And then take one more round, meeting back at center in low lunge. And fingertips come back down to the mat, framing the right foot, and bring the right knee back to meet in tabletop. Perfect. And now moving to the left side, so stepping the left foot in between the hands into a low lunge. The left fingertips stay on the outside of the left leg, connected to the mat, and then inhale, reaching the right arm up and over towards the left. Breathing here, moving breath into the right side body this time. And then slowly lowering the right fingertips down, straightening through the left leg and sinking those hips back into half split, flexing the left toes towards the face. And then back to low lunge. And half splits. Again, taking a few of these on this side now, utilizing your breath And you're really using it to move into those hamstrings, into the hips. Always finding a little more space on each exhale. And then taking one more round and meeting back at center in that low lunge. Fingertips come down to the mat, framing the left foot and bringing the left knee back to the mat in tabletop. Beautiful. Then come to standing on your knees. So not on your feet, but coming to standing on your knees, reaching up overhead. And exhale, open towards the right, bringing the right hand either to your right heel or to a block. Reaching the left hand towards the back of your space. Breathing here. Sending the hips forward just a little bit more. And then with control, go ahead and rise back up, reaching the hands back up to center. And inhale. Exhale, connecting the left hand here to the left heel or a block, reaching the right fingertips to the back of the space. Breathing here. And then awesome, with control, make your way back and come to sitting on your heels just for a few breaths. Option to curl your toes underneath you for a toe stretch if you'd like. Or even bringing a bolster underneath your bum, in between your bum and your heels, if that's a little bit more comfortable. One more breath here. And exhale, slowly release. We're going to begin to move into frog pose. So getting into those hips, bring your palms to the mat to add a little bit of control. And then begin to spread the knees wide, flexing the toes forward. So your heels are going to be apart. And then using your breath, rock into the hips back and forth rather than holding like a stagnant pose here. You want to add a little movement, use your breath. Make sure to breathe, and if you feel any pinching or electrifying sensations, feel free to move out of this posture immediately. The more you bring your heels in, the less intense this will be. Just always listen to your body. A few more breaths here. You also have the option to come to your forearms as well. And then slowly releasing. You're going to bring the toes together to touch, and then sit back on your heels, slowly drawing the knees in together here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and shift your weight over to one side, bringing your legs directly out in front of you. They can come together to touch. If you have a block here, you can go ahead and grab it and place it underneath your upper back, just slightly below your shoulder blades. If you don't have a block though, no worries at all. Go ahead and place your forearms by your sides, parallel to the mat. Elbows will be coming under your shoulders, and then lift the chest slightly, relaxing the head all the way back, lifting the chin if this is comfortable on your neck. So in fish pose, few breaths here. You can even allow your mouth to be open here. And then as you're ready, slowly make your way back up. And then lower all the way down onto your back. You can lift your knees up here together, and then take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Maybe you begin to straighten through the legs here, just as far as it feels good for you. Don't worry about straightening through your legs completely, unless that is where your body is for right now. And you can even move from here into a happy baby pose, so open the knees apart, bringing them towards the ribs, and then rocking side to side, or even straightening through opposite legs, just taking whatever you need and leaving the rest. Remember, this is completely your practice. I am solely guiding you through it, but it is always your practice. And then as we begin to close this time on our mat, I just want to invite you to take anything more that you may have needed today that maybe we didn't get to touch on. So maybe that could be an additional back bend. Maybe you wanted to move into a split if your hips are feeling open. Maybe plow pose, another inversion, or a supine twist. I just want to offer a few moments here for that. And of course, take as much time as you need. But when you are ready, come all the way to your back, making yourself into the tightest little ball that you have all class. So nose comes to either your forehead or your knees, giving yourself a really big hug here. And one last sip of air on this inhale. And exhale, release into Shavasana, relaxing all the way out onto your mat. So taking up as much space as possible. Legs come out wide to the edges of your mat. Your arms can either be by your sides, on your belly, or even overhead. Relaxing the face here. Again, keeping space between your teeth. And breathing here. One more breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale, release it out. And then knowing that, friends, you may stay in Shavasana as long as time permits for you. But if you are ready to continue with your evening, with your morning, with the rest of your day, we'll start with a breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale, release it out. Beautiful. You can rock onto either side in fetal pose, using your biceps as a pillow. And taking a moment to pause here before continuing on to the rest of your day. And as you're ready, you can press up to a seated position. And taking your time here, you can bring your palms together to your forehead as a reminder of positive thinking and how vital it is to your physical well-being. Bringing your palms to your lips as a reminder to speak kindly, speak love into yourself and into others. Just a reminder of how much your words do have an impact on others and how much they have an impact on what you tell yourself. And then bringing your palms to your heart as a reminder that you are loved. You were born in love. You are not a fluke, coincidence. You're not a mistake. You are carefully crafted and intentionally created. You are here on purpose for a purpose. And one more breath in through the nose. And an open mouth exhale. You can flutter your eyes open. God bless, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so thankful for all of you, and I hope you enjoyed this class. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if you'd like to support my future studio or support me directly, my Venmo and Cash App will be on the next screen as well as down below, and my GoFundMe link is down below as well. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you for our next class. Bye.
I like those. Those are good.
Yeah, I like the classes. I low-key been watching. I low-key do like some type of stretch or like simple beginner yoga like every evening before I go to bed. She's rude. She's rude. She's been farting in my face.
Tired.
I didn't change her.
So,
Okay. So let me go close my door because you never know who's gonna walk in. Girl. So it's been a good minute since we talked. Yeah, since my confidence series, right? A year ago. So like, yeah, it's been like a whole year, pretty much. This year. All right, listen. Before I even like get into what happened this past year, I gotta set the stage for you. Let me come up. So I told you how, I only told you like a little bit about how I was raised and everything, and like just how it's just very dysfunctional, very toxic. And basically I was raised in a covert narcissistic home. And it's not like, obviously the covert is very intentional. It's not like overt, you know, it's not like everyone around feels that wrath, everyone around feels that toxicity. It's actually like the opposite. So everyone else around the family, around the house, gets the niceness. They get the greatest thing that the world could offer, you know, they get the kindness, they get the generosity, they get the consideration. And it's the people inside the home, the closest people to that narcissist, who have to feel that wrath. And yeah, so of course it's like, I'm not explaining, like for that family dynamic to work and like to stay what it is, there's almost like a hierarchy within that family, and everyone pretty much has a role to play. So within my family, I am basically the scapegoat. So if anything doesn't align with this image that the covert narcissist is trying to portray to everyone else, there has to be someone to blame, you know? So I was to blame for a lot of things. Like, if something comes up, well, Lauren does, or it might not always be me, but someone's gonna be the blame for it. And so, because of who I am, my personality, my who I am just doesn't always align with that image, which is why it was easy for me to be the scapegoat. Cause like, sorry babe, I that's just not who I am, you know? And because of that, I got a lot of shame for who I was growing up, you know? Like, I was too sensitive, I was a know-it-all a lot of times, I don't know, I just wasn't who I needed to be for this image to completely, fully work, you know? And over time, after you get shamed a lot, you're gonna start just to be quiet. I'm gonna just go with it because it's like, it'll be easier. Why put up a fight at this point? It's too much work to try to fight against this. So yeah, for a long time, I just wasn't myself. I didn't show up to others as myself because it was just easier to not have to hear it all the time and not have to be shamed and not have to deal with the criticism and the judgment and the jokes and the comments. Like, it was just, okay, you know, okay, I heard you. Here, like, I hear you. And so, with that in mind, with this toxic family system, it's easy to like repeat those patterns outside the house, you know? So like when it came to friendships or even like romantic relationships, it was easy to find people who mimic that toxicity because, you know, like, I'm used to it at this point. I know how to keep myself safe in this type of situation. I know how to navigate this. I'm cool with this. Like, this is almost comfortable at this point, you know? And yeah, like, so the people, like I said, the friends that I made weren't necessarily friends to me, you know? Like I said, they were just the same dysfunctional, toxic energies that I was used to. And it was easy, like I said, it was easy to navigate, and it was easy to like protect myself because, or protect my ego, I'll say. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how I can word this. Like, I can protect myself because, one, I haven't shown up as myself for a really long time, and if I can keep that part of me safe, then that's a plus. But also, I don't have to grow in myself either and risk the shame or the judgment or anything else, you know? Like, basically keeping my ego safe. I have this little safe bubble that I keep myself in with me. That is the only place that I have been safe, you know? So keeping friends who weren't, you know, aligned with who I actually was, who didn't know me, that was easy. Because like I said, I do that at home. I do that every day. But it also meant that, again, I have no safe space, you know, other than myself. And, you know, I quickly realized that these people, they weren't for me. But it's like, at the end of the day, I can't blame anyone but myself because I put myself here, you know? I can sense that you see something in me that you want, and you're only sticking around to see if you can get it, you know? But it's like, I can navigate this, you know? It's not that hard. I'll let you do what you do. Again, I'm protecting myself by keeping you around in a way, but it's still not healthy. So like when COVID came around, or before, I would say before even COVID came around, I was just kind of using everything, like, everything was like a distraction for the next thing. Because, like, again, I have no safe space. I have no place to fully outwardly express myself. So to take my mind off of that, I need to do something else. But even in that thing, it's not fully for me. So I'm gonna have to go do something else. And it was just like distraction on distraction on distraction. So then once we got to COVID and like the shutdown and everything was stopped and you have to stay your ass home, my distractions are gone. I am not well, okay? I'm not okay. I'm sitting here trying not to go crazy. And I basically, like, my depression hit because, like, no matter how much you try to distract yourself, you're not happy, you know? So, like, that depression was slowly creeping in over the years, especially, like, in college. But once COVID hit, it was like, distraction's gone, baby. What you gonna do? And my depression was like, I'm here for you, boo. I'm here. And girl, yeah, I was just not well. Like, I realized that, like, I've allowed so many things in my life that were making me so unhappy. Like, I don't think I had anything that truly fed me. And that just made me feel like, okay, I'm good. I don't think I really had anything. And it's like, I can't blame it because I allowed it. I allowed it, and I allowed it to stay. So it was just like, but because I kind of had that realization, it was just like, okay, so how are we gonna change this, you know? And like during COVID, during that shutdown was when I kind of started doing like the internal work to say, okay, yeah, this is the main thing that makes me unhappy, for one. And two, it's like, why does it make me so unhappy? Why am I not fulfilled by this? And then three, after that, it was like, okay, so those things make you unhappy. What is gonna make you happy? And the only way for me to really determine that and find that out, it was like I had to basically go back to like the root and the source and basically like relearn myself all over again. And that was like, it was definitely a lot of work. But I needed it. I appreciate it because that was pretty much the start of my healing journey, my spiritual journey. That was like a very needed time in my life to like really sit down and like, man in the mirror, babe. Man in the mirror. There's life to live. So then after quarantine, once things started opening up, you know, we're going back to class, it was like, okay, so I've done some of this work. I know I've changed. I know I've kind of started to show up for myself. I still want to give these people, these things, the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not even mad at myself for doing it, because like, I'm not gonna, like I said, I can't hold these things against you because you've been showing who you were. But because I can say I've changed, because I can say I've done some type of work on myself, I want to see if anything you have done to like help yourself or do any work for yourself has changed you. And thankfully, these people were so consistent with who they were. So it's like, I appreciate that. I appreciate the lesson that we learned together. Even if you didn't learn anything from this, I appreciate what our relationship has been. And I'm going to let you go. Go ahead and get out of my way, baby. Appreciate it, though. And so, like, yeah, I was finishing school. It was like, yeah, I'm about to step in this new chapter. You can't come with me.
Right.
And that was like, I would say that was probably the easiest part of it. It's like the disingenuous, is that the word? You know, I don't even know, whatever. The fake friends, that's easy to stop. Those are easy to stop when the root cause is like family. You know, like that's the hard thing. That's where the work is. And yeah, so doing all this work, going to school, finishing up my my program. And so like one day, I think it was like after graduation, I had a friend at the time. She ended up coming over, and we were just drinking. We were kind of talking, just kind of like sharing things with each other. And of course, the liquor got to the system, and it resulted in me very drunkenly approaching my narcissistic parent and kind of saying like, you know what, I realized that you were the reason that I didn't like myself for a long time. Like, you used to treat me in such a way that, I won't even say used to, you treated me in such a way that made me feel like terrible about myself. And it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was a disrespectful, like a overly like, you did this and you did this. It was just like, I'm very emotional, but yeah, this is something that has caused me a lot of pain in my life, and honestly, you have been the root cause of it. And because at the time I didn't have a name for it, I didn't think like, oh yeah, I have this narcissistic parent. It was like, I'm the middle child. The middle child gets treated a little different, so this could be what it is. Like, let me just approach it. Let me just say what it is, and hopefully we can grow from it. So like, there wasn't really anything said that night, because like I said, we were drunk. We slept it off. In the morning, it was like, I want to talk to you too. And I was like, okay, cool. And I can say, like I said, I didn't have a name for what the dynamic was at the time. So I was expecting like, you know what, Lauren, I want to apologize for making you feel this way. Excuse me, I want to apologize for causing you to feel this way. This, you know, these were the circumstances at the time, and I can admit that I might have taken my frustrations out on you, you know, and it wasn't like a conscious choice, but I do apologize for it. Like, it wasn't intentional. I apologize. Girl, I didn't get that. No. Actually, I was blamed. I was blamed for why I was treated so negatively, and yeah. And I was told that I was just like very difficult, and like there was no accountability. There was no real apology. Like, it did not feel genuine at all when there was like I apologize. It was like, you know, it was like that. I apologize if, you know, like, and then it was like, I had to deal with this and this and this and this and this, which is fine. You can give like your examples of what might have led to these actions, but if you're not taking accountability, you're just listing off excuses, and I'm over it. So let that conversation, like, wow, oh wow, okay, you're not well. That, like, I was like pissed. Like, I was telling my friend, because honestly, this is the first time I'm telling her at the time, like, you know, this is kind of like the dynamic of our family. Like, so I don't know. I don't know. I was expecting some honesty, something, but yeah, I was shown real quick that it was like, oh well, so what you gonna do about it? You know? And yeah, just had a new perspective about all that. Like I said, I knew I was treated different I thought it was just like, you know, middle child shit, you know, it just happens. And no. So yeah, this was kind of like the beginning of the summer. And because like COVID, I ended up failing like that whole semester. Because like I said, depression was going crazy at me, okay? Failed that whole semester. So I still had like one more class to take after graduation. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just go back to my little on-campus apartment. Let me finish out the summer and mind my business, going about it. Now, before the summer ended, one of my sister's friends, she had a dog that she wanted me to foster, or that she needed to have fostered while she went to grad school. And I was like, you know what, I have no problems doing that. But first, you know what, I'm at my apartment for these last couple months, but I will be moving back to my parents' house, so I need to make sure it's cool with them that I have this dog, make sure everyone's cool with it. She was like, that's fine. I called my dad because he's the one who picked up. I said, look, if I can foster this dog, is this okay with you? He's like, yeah, just know like it's your responsibility. Cool, whatever, fine. Also, while on that note, is it okay if she comes over to the house with the dog so she can see how the dog acts with everyone, just to make sure this actually works? He was like, yeah, that's fine. We're all here. Cool. Go to the house. Everything's cool. Dog meets the family. Dog's pretty chill. Like, it's fine. So then my mom, the energy was kind of off with her. And it was just like, are you good? And it was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, okay. So then I left to get my apartment ready for the dog. And maybe 2 days after that, I got sent a long ass email. An email about all the ways I've been defiant and I'm such a disrespectful person and I have such a problem with authority and like all these ways that I just have not been the perfect child, and that if I have such a problem with the way the household is ran, I can find somewhere else to live. So I was like, okay. okay. So at this point, I'm like, yo, that's wild. That's actually really wild. An email when I'm like 45 minutes down the... Okay. So I'm like, you know what? I got some birds to kill. My lease is about to end in like, what? A month and a half? I cannot go back to the house. Find somewhere else to live? Okay. I went to my advisor. I said, if I add this major, how long would that add to my program? And it was like 3 semesters, I think. So registered, added a whole another major to my my program, and took my refund check, and I paid for my rent for a whole nother apartment because I was like, I am not going to the house. I got birds to kill. And like even at the time, it was like I'm preparing to go to grad school, and because of how my college career had been at that point, I didn't have the experience to I feel to be like a viable applicant. So I was like, I need some either more experience in the field or like more school to help me really fix my GPA. Because like I said, girl, COVID knocked me out, okay? So I was like, yeah, forget all summer class. We just gonna be in this whole other apartment. So, and once I moved into that apartment, once I was like out of the house and like I had like some calmness to getting this ball rolling in my plans, I was like, okay, I'm cool. I had to give the dog back to the girl though, because it was like, this is not gonna work. She was like, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. Yeah, sad on that. But so like 2021, after graduation, fall, like starting in the fall, even before that, like once I decided that I was moving and I had signed the lease and I was good, I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty cool. Like I'm actually pretty cool with how things are going right at this point. And we're good. And I just kind of continued doing this confidence work that I was doing. I was standing more in my power. I was, you know, making sure I was getting what I needed from people. And of course it came with a lot of side eyes and, you know, little comments from other people, but it's like, at least you're showing up as who you honestly are, and I appreciate it. Now move away from it. Like, move away. But still, like, I'm in school. I can only get like a part-time job, which was fine. Like I said, I could pay my bills. I was good. But I don't have the job in my field just yet, which is what I really needed to like really set me up for grad school. Right. So I was like, okay. Now we're getting towards like the end of that year. So was that? Yeah, summer 2022. Getting close to the end of my lease. So I was like, okay, I'm not expecting things to change. I'm not expecting different energy. Everyone has kind of showed true colors at this point, but I gotta make some things work. So I had to do the grown-up thing. Went to my parents, was like, is it okay if I move back home while I continue to save and, you know, find more jobs? I'm still not done with my program. I'll finish in, I think it was like December, but like I'm not making enough money with my little part-time job to pay rent again. So I just need this time to save and everything. And this is where it started kind of getting like freaky, because it was like the response I got was, of course, that's what parents are for. Why would we not help you? Of course. And I'm looking like, according to this email, it's not no of course, but okay, you know what? I'll take it. Thank you. But even then, when I say, I was like, because I think I said, like I want to stay for like at least a year while I save. Or I don't even think I said at least. I'm like, I just want to stay like for like a year, get things together, and then get ready to go. And then, so the initial conversation was like, of course, yeah. Then like maybe a month before I moved out of my apartment, it was like, so how long you staying? How long you need to stay again? It was like, okay, bro, here we go. Here we go. And it was just like, yo. So I get into the house and I really had to like master non-reaction. Because at this point it was like, you can't tell a narcissist when they're wrong. You can't. Okay, there's a big move, or wrong move, like terrible move. So it was like all the commentary, all things were just trying to provoke me to a reaction, you know. So like I had to really master like not saying a word. I'm gonna just look at you. Okay. Yes. No. I'm not. No. And it was like, it was exhausting, but I moved into a room in the basement because I'm like, we don't need to have too much interaction. It don't need to be too much extra conversation. I stay out your way and we're just working like that, you know. And it's like, I'm not asking you for anything. I still have my job. I'm not trying to really take advantage of this. What I needed most was a place to stay. And that's all I'm asking for. You know, like I'm going to the grocery, like I'm getting my own groceries. I'm not really asking for anything other than that. But even that was such a problem. So now my stuff is in the pantry and it's getting eaten. Well, it's in the pantry, so if you didn't buy it, why would you eat it? And then it was like, I put my name on it now. Then it was, well, how would you feel if I, as your parent, started putting my name on stuff saying you couldn't eat it? What are we even talking about? Like, what are we talking about? So it's like, okay, get whatever. So then like probably like 2 or 3 months after I moved into the house, we ended up helping a family friend. and they ended up staying with us. And you know, it's like I'm not gonna fake the funk for them, but I'm not gonna put them in the middle of it, you know, because like this don't have anything to do with you. You have your own things going on. It's like, you know, it's not such a big deal where I have to like, you know, put on a show. But when I say that gaslighting got crazy, it was like the weird tension was like gone, because now you gotta really put up your image. You got someone in your house, you gotta really put up that image. And it was like now when they're in the room, hi sunshine, good morning, I hope you have a great day at class. And now I'm looking at you like, yeah, because what are you talking about? Don't do this. Now you better piss me off. Like, come on. Like, yeah, it was just so fake, and I hated it. But like, again, it's like, this is not your business. I'm not gonna confront it at this moment. But it's like, okay, I got other stuff to worry about right now. I'm trying to get out of this house. And everything was fine, because like I know how to navigate that. I know how to navigate the fake energy. I've worked enough jobs and been in enough situations where I can just move around you and be cool, because I don't have the energy to give that. So I can navigate this. But now, once I can hear you putting me in situations that have nothing to do with me, and adding my business to half truths and like lies, it's like, now you better piss me off. And now I'm cool off all y'all. So don't even don't even worry about me. I'm going to class, I'm going to work, I'm going to my room. Don't bother me, please. And it was just like, yeah, I'm good. So then once they left around the time I finished that program. It was like December. So I ended up getting an offer for like a job in my field around that time. Okay. I'm still not telling them, because at this point I have had a lot of opportunities sabotaged by this parent, in the name of, oh, I don't know what happened, or I want to help you. But like within a narcissistic family, you need everyone to play their part, you know. All the roles need to be filled for that image to withhold itself. So if something is missing, say a scapegoat especially, then who are you going to blame stuff on when your image is not aligned? So yeah, a lot of my stuff was sabotage. A lot of my stuff was not able to be successful because of how this family system worked, you know. So when I got this offer, when I applied for the job, it was like, did you hear back yet? Because I gotta tell you something. So I applied for these jobs, it's in my field, yada yada. I didn't tell them when I interviewed, I didn't tell them when I got the offer. I just waited for my first day at work. So while I'm waiting, they're like, you should apply somewhere else. It's like, I've been applying to other jobs, but this is the job I want. So when I hear back from somebody, we'll make it, you know, it's gonna work. But like, please, you don't have anything to do with this, you know. But I got my offer letter, so I was really like, don't ask me about nothing else. I'm not gonna tell you, but just don't ask me about nothing else. And I still had to wait for like orientation, because they do it in like cohorts. And so like while I waited for that orientation day, I started working on my confidence. And that's where you have my Becoming Unrecognizable series, because it was like, I had to like stop this confidence work, because I had to be back in that space where I'm like trying to survive instead of like really, I can't really do for myself in the way that I want to. But it was like, you know, at this point I gotta be intentional about it. So there's a series, making it shake, I'm growing, I'm good. And right around the time that ended was when I started my job. And when I say this job was so like perfectly, one, aligned with me and like what I liked and what I wanted, it was aligned almost with like the confidence work I was doing. And so like my inner child, she was thriving, because like I was doing activity therapy. So I get to run around with these kids. I got to, you know, do crafts and arts and play board games. And I'm also doing all this mental health work, and I'm, you know, letting these kids know, like, I see you. You deserve respect. You deserve good things out of this life. I want you to take these activities not just as like busy work or something to do, like learn different ways you can express yourself. This is what this is for. This is what I'm here for. I want you to know I see you. So like this job was like, I had a really good time at this job at first. This is almost like a teamwork job. Now when I come in, I'm new to the field. I'm enthusiastic about my work. I'm good at my work. I have results from my work. I have my patients excited about me being, you know, leading their group. And you can't get that same energy, you're gonna feel away. Or at least they did. Mm-hmm. And when I say like doing everything to like make me, I don't just not successful at this job, oh my God, like again, I'm trying to work around the fake energy because like I'm not here for y'all. Y'all don't have nothing to do with me in this job other than your role and where we have to work together. I'm going to do what I can to make sure we're both doing well in this job, but I'm not going out of my way for you. But it's like, you can't do good work when your team doesn't want you to do well. So I had to go, and it's like, at the same time, I'm getting close up on my year ending, you know? And it's like, okay, again, I'm in a situation where I got some birds to kill. I don't know, I'm getting stressed from work. I'm getting stressed from the home because now it's back to this weird tension. I don't know, I already have like high cortisol. I have to figure this out. So yeah, I'm like trying to work it in my head. I don't know. I'm like, there was just so many things going in my head, but I knew like at this point, there's a lot of things in this community that are working against me, and I gotta go. You know, at this point, like everything's pushing me out. I gotta go. So I'm trying to talk to God, like, okay, what's next? Like, what do I do? And I'm just kind of getting messages like, get prepared. You know, like, get yourself ready. So like in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if I do grad school, I need to figure out the best way to make that happen, you know? So I have like this little bit of experience, but because of the agency, like where I worked, that's kind of a big name attached to it, you know? So I still have that for my field. I do want to get in-state tuition, you know? So like I'll have to be in that area that I'm going to be, or the state I'm going to be, for at least like a year. So that will work if I have like another year of experience before I start grad school. So yeah, I might as well move to the state that I want to go to grad school and work for that year, get prepared, get my in-state tuition, and then go to grad school. So it was just working in my head like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So yeah, talking to God, it was like, get prepared. So I'm like, okay. So at first I started like getting the moving boxes. So I'm like getting my stuff ready. I had applied to a couple jobs. And it was like, you know, kind of like a waiting game. Yeah. And I ended up interviewing. It was a really good interview. And I was like, okay, bet. I don't even have to wait for this because, like, when I interview, I get this job, you know? Like, I'm going to get it. So, got my stuff together, packed up my room. I was like, yeah, let's go. And it got to the point of waiting where I was like, okay, now it's just like, now I'm getting commentary like, when you gonna move? And it's like, I'm trying, I'm working on it. And it's like, you know what if I'm still not prepared? What if I'm not in position how I need to be? So I was like, okay, you know what, I might as well go up to the state and like really get in position. Like, you know, I'm a 7-8 hour car ride away from where I need to be in position to make this work. So let me go ahead and drive up. So I took like, no, almost like a month's worth of clothes, pillows, blankets, packed in my car, and I went up. And because I'd already like looked at apartments up there, toured some stuff, found a couple, and yeah, I was like, yeah, let me be ready. Girl, I shouldn't have did that. At that point, I'm not working within, you know, God's plan. I'm working out of ego. I'm working out of fear, because I'm like, I need to go, you know. And yeah, so like I said, I just knew it was like, it was gonna work out. Like, why would it not work out? So like, I think I was planning to, like, you know, stay in a hotel while I waited, while everything, you know, worked, waited for the offer letter and everything. Well, after, I think it was like, it got to the point of like 2 weeks, and I got that rejection letter. Three shame. 2 shame. I said, you're lying. So I'm like, okay. And I'm getting to the point of like money where I'm like about to dip into like deposit and like rent money, and I was like, I don't want to touch, I can't touch the money, like it's getting critical. So like, I got like maybe like 2-3 weeks left of like money that I could spend on a hotel. And I was like, you know what, I do have relatives near, but they're my mother's relatives. I'm like, whatever. I didn't want to ask them for anything because they were also dealing with loss, and it was like recent loss, like 3-4 months prior. So I was like, you know what, let me just call to check in to let them know I'm up here, so I can go see, you know, at least checking how they're doing before I ask them anything. So I called, they're like, come over, and we'll see. And ended up being like, I am actually looking to move up here. It was like, you know, you can stay with me. But before, like, even within that conversation, it was like, yeah, one of your other cousins asked to stay, asked to move in, and I said no. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not asking to move in anywhere with, like, that wasn't ever the conversation, because I need in-state tuition and y'all are in another state. So no, that's not what this is. But you know what, actually a couple days to like really get back with some reliable Wi-Fi and like find more jobs to apply to, that would be perfect. So this is where things are crazy, girl. So like I said, I come up there, I got my stuff in my car. Now this is my mom's uncle. Older, you know, he's older. It's like, you know, it's fine. So his one daughter, she already had problems with me. Like, she just had weird energy towards me, and I picked up on it like years ago. But it was like, girl, I'm almost more than half your age. Like, there shouldn't be no beef. Like, what is the energy? Whatever. So when they came up, they ended up coming to the house that night too, and they were like, you know what, it'll actually be good for him to have someone else in the house to help him, because we're not able to come over as much to, like, you know, help him around the house and everything. So it'll actually be good to have you there for a couple days. So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So then I don't even know, it was just like, I was trying to explain what my plan was, which I did. Like, I'm going to grad school, I need to move up here so I can get my in-state tuition and work and yada yada. But I made the mistake of saying, don't tell my parents I'm up here. I'm gonna tell them. They're like, your parents don't know you up here? It really don't matter. But no, that was my first mistake dealing with them. Oh my god, So now it switches, and it's like, and I'm trying to like, because this is how the covert narcissistic system works. The people around don't see it. They don't hear it. They don't know. So I'm trying to word and explain the situation in a way where I'm not being disrespectful, because like, again, this is her family, but I'm trying to make sure like I'm trying to like just explain like I don't need to be in that house, and I just want to make sure I can be independent away from this, yada yada. And they're like, but you did your parents, yada yada yada. Okay. So then it switches, and I think within the 2 days I'm there, they do tell my parents that I'm up there. I'm getting calls. Now mind you, everything was fine until like they started having conversations amongst themselves about me. Now I got an attitude problem. Now I'm selfish. Now I'm all these other things. I'm supposed to be standing for his, I'm not even gonna go there, but like, I'm supposed to be doing all these things and yada yada yada. And it was like, you know what? Let me go. So I ended up telling my dad, like, this is the conversation that was had to me just now. I do not feel comfortable staying any longer. And it's like, I wasn't even planning to, because like, I just need a couple days. But y'all are making it seem like I'm here around y'all to take advantage of y'all. What are y'all talking about? Like, they're telling me I'm trying to like, I'm sneaky, I'm trying to take advantage of their situation. It's like, whoa, where are y'all getting all this from? Like, please don't. So my dad's like, you know what, talk to his daughter, see if it's okay to stay with them. And I'm like, Dad, no. It's not. Like, they already got some weird energy coming at me, and like, I haven't done anything. He's like, no, go ahead and ask, that's family. Well, Dad, your definition of family is not what I have. Okay, the definition is not the literal sense of what this is. But I still ask, because like, I still trying to figure this out. So reluctantly, it was like, the conversation was like, you know what, can I have a, 2-3 days, can I stay with you for like 2-3 days while I apply for these jobs, and it was like, I don't like roommates. I don't even let my best friend stay over when she asked for to spend the night. Okay, girl, I just need a couple nights, like, please, like. And yeah, I think I got to one night, and because I didn't wash the dishes that were in the sink before I got there, now I just crossed all type of lines. I didn't wash those dishes, and I didn't fold her laundry when I asked to use her her washer and dryer. Cause like, you don't do roommates. I know how roommate situations work. I'm not gonna move your house around in any way to let you know that I've like messed with your stuff. So I'm gonna leave it exactly how I found it, so there's no room for like nothing. I'm not, you said no roommates, baby. I'm not, don't make me be, girl, so yeah, that, I think it was like, actually I got to like I think it was like 2 days. So one night, I stayed one night. So then that second day, it was like you did this and this, or you didn't do this and this. You got an attitude problem, you got this and this and this. So again, I've mastered non-reaction. You want something to happen. I don't know what you've heard. I don't know how my scapegoat role has been brought into this, but I know it has at this point, because there's no reason why you have all this energy towards me, and I haven't showed anything to you to make you feel this way. So something has been said about me. I can feel it. You want me to react a certain way. It's not gonna happen. So go ahead and say what you gotta say. Thank you for letting me stay. Thank you for what you've allowed. Thank you for your hospitality. I appreciate it. And it was like I want you gone by the time I wake up in the morning. Oh no, not just gone. I want you out of my house. Heard, yes ma'am. got my stuff packed up, and it was like and just go home. Go home. And it was like we know this area better than you. It's not safe for you. Like, you don't know it, yada, yada, yada. It's like, ooh. You don't know nothing that I know. Shit. But thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your help. So I went on about my business. In that time, though, I did get to apply for some jobs. So I went back. I think I stayed at a hotel for like 3 days before I ended up getting another. I had 2 interviews. Yeah, so got the interview, got the job, was waiting to hear back from another interview, and I was like, okay, cool. Now at this point, this is where it's like, I'm thinking like, maybe I should have just went home. Maybe that would have been like the best move for me at that point, because it was like, what happened after that was even like, so I don't even know, like, I don't, because again, I'm feeling like I'm working towards this, you know, I'm working toward this plan. I can't let a couple naysayers and closed doors stop me, because it's like, do I not have faith in what I'm trying to, you know, make happen? So it's like, I'm gonna keep working at this. I'm gonna make this happen, because I don't have a choice. I can't go back. I can't go back. Like I said, I've already had opportunities not play out how I need them to, and I can't. Hold on, it's getting a little dark. Hold on.
That sounds sick. It's just a little dark over there. I don't know. I know it's raining.
I'm at the house. Just a little bit. But yeah, I can't have this opportunity not work out how I need it to. That's not going to hold on. You know, because like I do have plans for this. Like, I'm trying to make this work. I'm making this into something. So I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care. A couple closed doors, I'll be fine. You know, I'll find a way around it. So, but like in hindsight, I probably should have went the fuck home. I probably should have went home, because like I said, I was moving out of fear. I was moving out of my own ego at that point, you know. And like, you know, I also didn't want to hear, or like, you know, at this point, like I said, growing up in that space, is like, I'm being taught to doubt everything I feel is right for myself, because then how would this, you know, this other plan work? This narcissistic plan, how will their plan work if I'm going off of what I feel, if I'm going off of what I know, what I think? It doesn't align with that image. So like, yeah, I'm gonna have to teach you how to doubt yourself and not listen to your own intuition, so you better follow me. That's how it works. And so it was like almost that fear of like, what if they were right? You know, what if they were right to make me think that I don't know what's best for myself? And it was like, no, I do. I do know. So I'm going to stay up here and I'm make this shit work, and it's just going to have to work. Like, I can't go back, because I'm not going to have you in my face with no little smug, like you were so right about, you know, me not working out or me not knowing what's best. Like, I can't let that happen. But yeah, so I had my job offers, so I was like, okay, no, you know, maybe I'm good. And it was fine, but like I said, I was staying in hotels. The hotels I was staying with, staying in, we're not close to this job that I got. So I was like, okay, you know what, that's fine. I'm still working, I'm still applying to other jobs, I'm still waiting. But the hotels near this job were like almost double the prices of the other ones. So I was like, huh. Yeah. So guess what I decided? I'm gonna sleep in my car. Slept in my car, girl. Slept in my car. I went to work. I got food. And then I went to Planet Fitness every day to go shower. And I went and slept in like crowded parking lots. And I just did that every day. And that was, excuse me, yeah. Actually, thinking about it, it was just like, it's some shit, but I'm dedicated to making this happen. I'm dedicated to making this work, so whatever I gotta do. And like, I wasn't mad at it because like, for a while, like, the amount of peace and relief I felt for like getting away, it outweighed that little bit of discomfort. You know, it's like, I can pay my bills, I got a job, I can go get, you know, I can go get food when I need. I'm good, I'm in this new space. I have like a new sense of freedom. I'm okay with this for now. If this is what I gotta deal with while I get to where I'm going, this is nothing. I'm fine. I have my car, like I have blankets, I have pillows, I have the clothes that I need. I'm okay, you know? And it was fine until like it started getting colder. Because at this point, this is like October, close to November. I'm moving up north, not all the way up north, but like a couple states up north, more northern, I'll say. It's getting colder. What the other job that I had interviewed for, no response. Then my job started like cutting my hours. So now like my stress is going up crazy. And I'm like, okay, let me figure out how I can like reduce my stress. I really can't, because the stressor is, I'm living in my stressor, you know. I'm not well, I'm not okay. So I'm like, listen, I'm trying to make this work. But now it's just, I'm starting to get a little worried. God, what's going on? Like, what's up? And this is where I kind of, like, it's like, I'm feeling like the depression come back in. Because this is also around the time that things got really bad again in Palestine. And I'm like, you know, if I can, I still feel really blessed and privileged about this position I'm in, you know, because I don't have my home being bombed like this, like, you know. So it's like, I'm still trying to make sure I feel grateful about what I have. And, you know, I'm not outside technically. I still have covering when I go lay my head down, you know. So it's like, I'm trying to, but this is also like stressful, understanding that I am also watching a genocide happen in real time. I got all this shit going on right now. I'm not okay. So that my cortisol, my stress, I'm stressed crazy. I'm dealing with so much inflammation in my body. Like, it's just like, I'm not okay. And this is where I'm like really starting to like get almost like depressed again. Cause I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what did I do? What am I doing wrong that I'm still in this space? Like, nothing is changing. Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing? Like, and yeah, like, I just felt like I wasn't hearing anything back in response while I was like kind of asking these questions. And now we get to winter. Again, my shifts are still getting cut. Stress is going up crazy. It's cold. It's like almost snow season. I think the temperatures will get into like 14, 15 at night. So I'm like tripled up in jackets, quadrupled up in socks, got blankets up, going crazy. I only had 2 blankets, but I was like, listen, the fuck. And again, it's like no change, no jobs were getting back to me at that point. And I was like, what's going on? Like, this is actually kind of fucked up. Like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And like, you know, I don't blame anyone for me being in that situation except for me. Even now, it's like, I can't be mad at anyone. I put myself there. I was hurt by the fact that I have family across the bridge, and they showed me their whole ass to kiss. And it was like, huh. So then, birthday passed in my car. Actually, I ended up getting a hotel for that night because I got, like, my dad sent me birthday money. Shout out to my dad. So I was able to get a room for that night. But, you know, birthday passed. Now I've kicked out the insurance. I can't even go to the doctor for this stress, okay? So now that's even more stressful, adding more to my stress. And I was just like, look, I'm in pain because it's so cold. I'm kind of like crying to myself like almost every night because I'm like, I'm hurt. I'm not okay. Like I'm mad at myself because I didn't think this through necessarily, or at least like if I had only, I guess I don't plan better. I don't even know. Like I just needed something to work out for me, and I was so upset at myself for like having myself in that position. So Christmas came. I was able to get a hotel for that night, but I'm still in my car after that. New Year's, I'm in my car. But around that Christmas break, I finally got another job offer. Ooh, girl. It's a full-time job. And again, I'm just waiting for my start date because it's out of school and I gotta wait for the school year to start back after Christmas break. So Christmas break was like, I'm reflecting, I'm sad, but it's like, I will be okay. So I kind of had to make that conscious decision that I am not my circumstances, you know? Mm-hmm. Take away all this stuff that's happening to me. Who are you? Does this say like I am not the things that happen to me, you know? The things that I deal with, that is not who I am. I know who I am, you know? So let's start acting like it. And I had to like make that decision to like act like I got some faith, you know? Because like for a while it was like, God, where you at? Please, please. So like after that I had to like, you know, just kind of assure myself, this is not forever. This is just a situation that you gotta learn from, okay? We know what to do next time. You're not your circumstances, and let's act like we know what's about to happen after this, okay? Because now we're just going through this. After this, we know what's gonna happen, okay? So it was like a posture change for me. I got a new full-time job in my field, and you know, it's good because like now more money, so I get to actually pay for stuff I need to actually, you know, deal with that stress that I'm dealing with, you know, and get more foods that I need, get more medications that I can get. you know, before I can, you know, go see a doctor, before my insurance actually kicks in again with that job. So, but like it was like another relieving moment, because like the job is in my field. I am working with students again. I am in my mental health. I'm doing what I need to do, and it's like, okay, it's coming back together. We just had a little moment. We're okay. Everything was good. Again, I'm still living in my car at this point, but like, I'm okay, you know? I haven't had any incidents where I'm feeling so completely unsafe. You know, at this point, I've had no incidents. You know, I had a couple people try to come up with my shit, but like, it wasn't nothing crazy, I promise. But it wasn't nothing crazy. It was like two dudes, like one night, a dude came up to the car, tried to open the door, but he didn't see me. So when I raised up, like, nigga, what? He said, oh, wrong car. No, this was the right car, but you thought I had walked away. So I don't know if he was watching me, but he walked away. It was nothing, like, it wasn't crazy. And then another time, it was like a dude that I've been seeing around town. It was another, like, unhoused dude. And I don't know, he was just like real sketch. And he had like knocked on the window one day when I was at the gas station. And he was like, and like, so I reached down on my seat. He's like, oh, no. I just want to know if you got a boyfriend. Nigga, if you don't get out my face, get out my face, please. We're not doing this. I can only laugh about it because, like, we're both unhoused. I've seen you walk around this shit. This is not, no. Fuck no. No. You about to piss me off. So it wasn't nothing crazy, I promise. Like, I didn't feel in danger, but it was definitely like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I was still in a safe area, you know, like, I had places to go. Shout out to the libraries. Please use your libraries, because that is a very safe space. I was in that library like every day. Use your libraries. Use your libraries. So everything was cool until we got to like spring break of the school year. And I ended up needing new brakes. Girl, I was squealing around town. So I was like, look, fuck. So I ended up calling my dad, because look, shout out to my dad. I can't emphasize that enough. Shout out to my dad. Now at this point, I haven't told them like what's going on with my living situation, because like, I don't want you to know. I don't want you to come up here. I'm working on it, okay? I don't want you to feel obligated to save me. I put myself in a situation. I'm figuring it out, you know? So my dad like, look, I need new brakes. Do you know anyone who could, like, who I should go to? Like, who's your recommendation? He was like, you know, just kind of call for quotes and we'll work it from there. So he ended up sending me the money. Again, shout out to my dad. And I was able to get my brakes fixed and new rotors for like 2 of the tires. So like, again, I'm like, oh, new brakes. You can't tell me nothing with spring break. I'm cool. I'm at the library. We chilling. Excuse me. I go to leave the library. Why my whole caliper slip up off my tire? Now the caliper is the part that holds your brake pads to the rotor, which is what holds it onto the tire. Slipped up off my tire while I'm riding down the street. My car goes, I said, you're fucking lying. The shop is closed for the day. What the fuck am I about to do? I try to pull over to like a parking lot, but now I'm in a random parking lot that is for like this store customers only. So I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm about to do, because if I can't move my car to like where I'm gonna go stay for the night, then I have nowhere to stay for the night. I don't have money in this check to like spend on these hotels. I'm not trying to. Cause then for me to get there, then leave my car with all my stuff in it. Oh, I was going through it. My mind was like, I'm like stressed, I'm crying. Guess what I did? Called my damn mama. Cause like I'm trying to figure out like how I can get it towed, like where I can get it towed to, like who can come, like do y'all know anyone? Like, so then it was like, okay, you know what? Then this is where it pissed me off. You know, you still have family up there. The family who showed me their ass. But you know, and then I was like, I'm not gonna let my pride really get me out of like have me losing out on help. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just call. So called her uncle's son, cause he does like I'm not gonna call him no handyman, but like he does stuff. He works with his hands. You know, he works in I'll just say he got a blue collar job, whatever. And I was like, look, do you know how to put a caliper back on? Because I can't take my car. I can't move my car by myself. I'm not gonna walk up in here, try to buy a caliper or try to buy the bolts. I might as well take it to the shop because they're the one who broke it, but like I just need help. So he ended up calling, or no, my mom ended up calling his sister, the same sister who kicked me out her damn house. So she ended up coming to get me, which I was like, whatever, but I appreciate it. So she came to get me. I stayed at her house. Her brother basically said I could stay at his house because, you know, he doesn't mind the guests, whatever. Which I was like, you know what? That's fine. It's getting hot anyway. I hate to sleep in a hot ass car. So I will take this help and I'll be appreciative of it, and I'll just, you know, keep it pushing how I was. So this is, like I said, it's like April. But like with that situation where I had to like figure out my car because it was so much stress, that's why I ended up telling my parents that I was basically sleeping in my car. And my dad was just like, what the fuck? Here go my mom. Oh, why wouldn't you tell us? I'm so hurt. Why are you hurt? Ugh, why are you hurt? So, yeah. So like I don't mind staying at the house, but like I was hesitant because it was like, y'all have already shown me a lot in the 4 days that I was around y'all. I'm so good off y'all. But you know, I had a bed. I was indoors. My commute to work was like an hour and a half at that point. Hour and a half, jeez. But it was like, I got a bed. I'm in the house. I can go use the bathroom whenever I want to. So I will not complain. And I thought everything was cool. Like, you know what? Dude would come home and I'd be like, you know, how's your day? How's everything? He'd be like, good. He wouldn't ask me about mine, but it was like, that's fine. You don't feel like talking. Go about your business. Come to find out, word to Cleo, come to find out, he's sitting there calling and texting my mom about all my missteps. Why she closed the door. Why she leave the fan on. Why she don't talk so much. Why she order her groceries. I was like, oh, you just don't like me. At this point, you're not used to having a house guest. And you just weren't, I don't know. Why she, it was like, yo, you're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass man. I'm right down the hall. You can't come knock on my door and say, hey, Lauren, can you not do this? Can you try not to do this? I would actually appreciate it if you didn't do this. You gonna text my mama? Okay. So again, I'm coming up on the end of the year. Like, mind you, when I came to stay with him, he didn't say anything to me, like about house rules, like how he likes things to run. Hold up. Like how he wanted everything to go, like the systems of his house. Like, you know, at this point he's living by himself. Like, So it's like, I'm just gonna stay out your way. Again, I've already dealt with that shit with your sister. I'm not trying to do it again because I just need to finish out this school year. So like when that came out, I was like, oh hell no, like you about to piss me off. All y'all done showed me everything I need to know. Y'all ain't never hearing from me again. And I hope you appreciate that, because it won't be a problem on this side if you don't. So in the meantime, I'm like, okay, I need to, the school year ends. I'm like, it's coming to an end. I need to find another job, because again, I was good with this job. I was good at my role. It was aligned with what I wanted to do in the field. But these people, I don't know. You know, I'm used to people trying to like come up against me, but this energy was something different. It was like, y'all got issues. Stop trying to be in my face if you don't like me. Please, you're trying to find out my business to measure yourself up next to me. Girl, get on. Get. Like, it was just like, y'all got some weird energy. I'm here for my student. I'm here for my job. We don't have to communicate, conversate, whatever. It don't have to be all that. So please, just keep it pushing. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to come back here next year. So like, I'm in the meantime, I'm looking for a summer job at least. I had told dude like, hey, we haven't talked about like how long I'm staying. So I will say this: if I don't find a summer job up here before I get to like the end of my school year, like was like a month away, then I'm most likely just gonna go back to South Carolina. And he was like, you know what, that's fine. So I'm still looking. I'm not hearing nothing back. But by the time I'm like expecting to hear something, I don't really see him at the house. Like, he's not there by the time I go to bed, and I think he's like gone by the time I wake up. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to have this conversation, but you know, I should see him in a couple of days. So now we get to like the end of the school year. Last week, this is like the day before the last day of school. I told him what my last day was. I told him all that. Like, this is my last day. I'm expecting to hear something back before then. If I don't, here's the plan. Cool. It's like, it's fine. Tell me why 8:30, the day before the last day of school, I get a call from him. So I'm like, I text him, like, I declined the call. I text him like, hey, I can't really answer the phone right now. Is everything okay? This man texted me and said, tomorrow is your last day. Yeah, it was like, tomorrow is your last day. Let me know if you need help packing. And I was like, first of all, when you call me, you know I'm at work. Second of all, what are you even talking about? Like, you haven't, ooh. So I texted him, I said, hey, no, tomorrow's my last day of school. But I'm not leaving tomorrow. I'll be gone by Monday though, but I won't need help packing. Like, I got it. Like, it's not a lot of stuff. This man responds, no, Monday does not work for me. Be gone by, no, yeah, he said Monday does not work for me. Friday or tomorrow will be your last night. Be gone by Saturday morning. Y'all be gone, bitch. y'all be gone. Okay, heard. So I was so frustrated because, like, I'm at work. Like, I'm trying to deal with these students who got behavioral issues like crazy. And I got to deal with this on top of that. Like, ooh, y'all about to piss me off. So I go to the bathroom. I drop a little thug tear. I get myself together, straighten up, and I go back to class. And we'll finish out our school day. So I get back to the house. Of course, he's not there. I'm start packing up my stuff. Like, I wanted till Monday so I could, one, braid my hair or at least do something with my hair, and then pack, and then clean the space. So clean the room, clean the sheets, clean the bathroom, vacuum, whatever. Nah, he was like, be gone. So I was like, yeah, okay. So Thursday night, I I think I packed Thursday night. No, I cleaned pretty much. It was like kind of a mixture of both. So then Friday, go to work. It's a half day for the students, but of course we had to stay the full day. So once I was done with my work day, drove my hour and a half back to his house and packed and cleaned for the night, had my stuff packed up. I was gone that like Saturday morning. I woke up at like 4:30, which is like the time I usually wake up for work. So I was used to it. Woke up at 4:30, left by 5, I think. And I drove my little 7.5 hours back to South Carolina. This man texted me talking about, I didn't know you'd be gone that early, but let me know when you get home. I'm home. Thank you. Appreciate the hospitality. And that was my fucking year.
Girl.
You know what? I appreciate all of that because I learned so much, one about myself and just the people I had around me. You know, it was, I wouldn't trade that experience for nothing. It was traumatizing in the moment, but like now it's like I'm good, you know. Of course I worked at a school, so I get paid summers, so I'm like, I had a chance to just decompress after that, cause like, girl, what the fuck? What the world? But I appreciate it, cause like, again, the only way I have to go at this point is up. I've dealt with it, I've seen it, I've done it. Thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, I just wouldn't change it. So like,
What's next?
I don't even know what's next. That's the thing. Like, I'm really trying to like, God, tell me what's going on. Like, you know what? I'm really trying to like make sure I listen and not work out an ego. I think my ego has been killed. She has been humbled. I've done it, you know. So at this point, it's like I'm not too sure what's coming next, but I'm prepared for it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready for it. I had the chance to like rest and grieve and get my stress and my health back under control and just get myself good, you know. And at this point, I just appreciate what has happened in my life. And yeah, you know. I mean, at this point, now what I want... Sorry, she just caught me off guard. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that is truly aligned with me, you know? And that's even with my younger self. I'm doing what's good with her, you know? And so I'm going to continue doing that work. Like, you know, I'm doing my little pre-shower makeup. I'm going to make sure that body, mind, soul is good and on all fronts. But I don't know what's next. And I'm not too stressed about it at this point, because I know what's gonna happen is gonna be good, you know. But yeah, it has been a journey for real. And I appreciate you for listening to me go on about this for like 2 hours. But I just had to let you know, like, I've been MIA for a reason. You know, I'm still trying to make sure I'm showing up for myself, but also for the people who I love. And yeah, so I appreciate it. And of course, I'm still keeping up with you, but yeah.
Just don't go too long. Can't.
Yeah, we can't let it go this long again.
Like, let's do monthly something.
Let's do monthly. Let's do monthly calls. Yeah.
Girl.
Okay, girl. Look, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Love you so much. And I'll talk to you next month. Love you. Bye.
I'm always rapping for that low life, rapping for that low life. Low life, low life, low life. No, I'm rapping for that low